Right, this is the brand new OCTALAND pedal. It's an Octavia style pedal, and it produces 1 octave above the guitar note that you're playing. It's made famous by people like Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan used one, and a lot of players are using them these days for quite sort of funky stuff. They produce some great tones, both up high on the neck and also low down. This pedal has been designed so the gain is much more designed to bring out the octave at all levels. A lot of the other Octavias that are available, most players use them set at a complete low level because that's where the octave really stands out, and when you turn them up higher you lose the octave. So I've built this so on the very low drive settings you get almost a clean high octave. I say almost because the way these are completely analog pedals and the way they work, it does produce a slightly sort of fuzzy sound, which is in fact incredibly playable and a great sound. But so it almost produces a clean sound, and when you obviously at a full gain setting, it's much more sort of Hendrix and very full on, and a very gritty sound. But the important thing is you still get a strong octave when it's up full, unlike most others. And again, unlike most others, it remains very playable. Some can produce quite a mushy octave sound, but this produces a really sort of glassy, very playable, but also very sort of fat high octave, so very addictive and very playable tone. There's a fat vintage switch on this. Basically the vintage switch is more like the originals, where it's a thinner sound, but it's great for some of those sort of almost like Rhodes type sounds, especially when you're playing down low, and obviously a very sort of piercing, clear high octave. But on the fat settings it becomes great, especially on the cleaner settings. Produces a really nice fat high octave sound, much fuller than any of the others available on the market, any of the other Octavia style pedals. The volume, it has a great high output if you need to really drive your amp. It's hand wired, it's completely true bypass, and it's got a very cool custom made case, which again is handmade, so the whole thing is very robust, completely handmade, very carefully selected components, and it really does sound amazing. So I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to show you what it sounds like. Okay, so we'll start off with just a very low drive setting. The amp I'm going through I'm actually just plugged straight into my laptop, and I'm just going through just a plug-in amplifier, just so it takes away any variables, so you're just literally hearing the pedal and no fancy amp or mics or anything. So here's the clean sound. You can really hear the octave very strong. And there's so many things you can do with an octave. One thing is you can get a very sort of ring modulator type sound just by playing two notes together. So which is a great sound. If you roll the tone down on your guitar, you get a very pronounced high octave. And again, you get the very, very again, if we take it right up to full. Let's talk about the fat and vintage setting. So if we turn the volume down a bit, we'll try and get a really clean high octave sound. So on the fat setting, we get a lot more bass. And again, if we on the fat setting, if we use a lot of drive, the sound will be a lot fuller. Almost, it's more mushy, but it's kind of quite nice fat sound. Cool. So a lot of people who use these pedals kind of play up on the 12th fret. That's where the kind of most pronounced octave is. But the tones you can get from lower down on the neck are actually really cool. And so lower down on the neck, you can get a fantastic sound, a much more kind of almost like a Rhodes piano type sound. So this is just playing lower down. It's great for those kind of really sort of funky style riffs, the